So curiosity killed the cat, right? Let's see why this thing wasn't draining. Hey gang, welcome back. Today we're at a little 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. We're outside the north gates of our local campus. You might hear the band soon because they practice right across the street, so that's pretty cool. One thing I noticed while I was working here though was that the disposer doesn't work and the sink doesn't drain. So let's get under here. So all we're going to do today is change this guy. Now when I got here, the plug in the back was miswired. It was wired with an open neutral. I fixed that, but this thing still doesn't work. And if I use the wrench on the bottom, this thing is majorly locked up. And it doesn't drain, and there's a blockage somewhere in here. I took the trap off, so I know it's in the unit. So let's take this thing off real quick. Take off the trap first.
And you said that you got an Allen wrench and you put it underneath the disposer and it was locked up?
Yeah, I'm going to show you. We'll talk more about that when we put in the new unit. So there's that. And I'm going to disconnect the hose clamp for the dishwasher right here. Almost every hose clamp takes a 5/16. There are some smaller ones that take a 1/4. That's it. And then I use this on this clamping ring. Get this out of the way. One hand underneath, loosen it, it drops. And that's it. So we don't need this. The new disposer comes with one. We do need these. And we need the cord. So while I have this flipped over, let's talk about the bottom. So this wrench is made to fit in here. And well, let's look at the new one, because that one doesn't work. If you ever have a jam, you can put that in there. And now you're spinning the disposer. You're spinning the motor. And a lot of times that'll clear a jam for you. If you have a popcorn kernel, piece of glass, something like that stuck in there, you can free it like that. This is a reset. If the unit's drawing too much current, it'll trip. A lot of times, just doing that will get it going again. I've often wondered why the manufacturers don't put onboard storage for these wrenches, because they always end up getting lost. So
do they come with it?
It comes with it. And it's funny, it says...
It's pretty nice.
Self-service wrenchette. Isn't that kind of a retro, old school name? So how hard would it be to do that? You know, just put a magnet on. I've actually done that. And I mean, that's not going anywhere.
Well, if it's your own house, then maybe that'd be a good thing to do.
And this is 1/4-inch hex. Most people would have that in their toolbox, but in a pinch, it's right there. This is the knockout. This is for the dishwasher. There's a plug in there that we're going to knock out, just like we did the other day on the other repair we did. If you don't have a dishwasher, just leave it in there. It comes with all this, a new bracket, so we're going to install it. This would mount right to that existing bracket, but it's nasty. Right, and this is easy to change, so we're just going to change it. And the way they mount, you saw how easy that came down?
Yeah, you just turn it.
Yep, you see these 3 tabs? Mm-hmm. They're going to engage here, here, and there. And then as you turn this, see that?
Yep.
This is at an incline, and they climb up that incline, and they seal everything together.
Cool.
And then can you see this little detent right there? That's your stop. You want to go that far. Well, I'm not going to do it now, but that's how far you want to go so that this thing doesn't vibrate off like that.
Yep.
So I'll take that off. Let's flip this over, and we'll put the electrical cord on. So if you're wondering why disposers dishwashers, dryers, ranges don't come with cords. It's because some municipalities require this to be hardwired. In other words, not a plug-in connection. So that allows the electrician to either put a cord here or to hardwire it. We can use a cord, so we're just going to use this one that is on this disposer. There's no point in buying a new one if this one's okay. Oh, they even grounded it. Nice. And there, oh, it's all right. I don't need it. This is a name brand disposer, but it's not their top of the line. So it has a steel inside. As you pay more for them, they're stainless steel, and they'll last longer. This one's $100. That's about as little as you're going to pay for a disposer. So that's all trash. Now, probably 7-8 times out of 10, I don't see a connector used right here. And I think I've said on previous videos, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. But this is designed so that this type of connector will just thread right in there. You would never be able to get the lock nut on here. There's just not enough room to get hands in there and get a lock nut started. So that's actually made for it to just thread in. And I did notice yesterday when I bought this, right next to this was a display of replacement stoppers and cords, and the bubble pack actually had this in there with it. So please use that. It's really important. I'm going to shorten this. I don't need 6 feet of cord under the sink. So you got to be careful. You don't want to cut into the insulation on those wires. So I bend it pretty hard like that, and I don't really cut. I'm more pressing, and then I look. And can you see? I don't know if you can tell, but I'm through. And then I just rotate it, and I can feel it. See that?
Yep.
You can see the neutral in there?
Yep.
And I can actually feel when the blade, and there's the ground. I can feel when the blade is through the outer jacket. It just pops off like that. Yeah. Can you see the color difference in those wires?
Yeah, you got one copper one in the middle.
Well, they're all copper, but somehow these are just colored, and usually that tells me it's because it got wet. Now there was a leak under there, so it could be that this long cord was sitting on the bottom and it got wet. I don't see how the water could have gotten through this. It's fine, but it's interesting. So we'll put that on. Feed them through and grab them. And I'm just going to spin that on. I'm not going to tighten it now because if I tighten it, these screws stick out farther here and they hit before I can get it all the way tight. So now I'm snug. I'm just going to give it a 20. Make sure I'm through. Now I'll tighten these. I've worked in commercial restaurants, commercial kitchens where the disposer is sitting on its own stand under the sink. It's 3-phase and it has its own water supply. So when you turn the water on, or you turn the disposer on, it opens a solenoid valve that opens the water lines, and water's injected into the grinding chamber. I swear you could throw a whole ham in there and that thing would be gone in a couple of seconds. Those things are so powerful. So this is our ground. EG probably stands for equipment ground. That's that. Attach the ground first, and then neutrals. and then hot last. It's just a good habit to get into. That's that. Cover plate. So we're ready there. Now let's knock this out, knock the plug out. I know, I'm using my Kleins in a unprofessional manner. Oh, come on. There it is. There's a good view inside a disposer.
Oh yeah.
On the last video we said there are no blades, and you can see that these are not sharp. And you can see the perforated ring. Can you see it? Yeah, I can see it. And those simply throw the food out against that, and it gets shredded into the chamber where it gets washed out. Let's put this back on. And we're going to attach the drain. And this all comes with the unit, and this does not go behind that. It goes in there. And then this. And then when you tighten these, this clamping ring seals everything tight. I'm just going to get it pointed straight down, and then I'm going to go ahead and tighten them. And they're going to bottom out. This is going to bottom out on there, on the casting, and that way the rubber washer is properly tightened. Okay, so that's all ready to install. Let's take out the old bracket. There's just three screws. You just have to loosen them. Yeah, make sure you're wearing some kind of eye protection, because stuff always, the old plumber's putty is dried and it's coming down on me. Loosen them about that much. And then there's a snap ring in here. I'll show you more about this snap ring when we're up top, but that's it. And that's holding this on. There's that. And then this. When that comes off, and there's your fiber washer. And then there's that. So that's all trash. So you had a disposer and it was just giving you trouble. You can just convert this to a regular sink without a disposer. Remember the basket strainers we talked about? It'll go right in there. And then you just pipe that into your trap, just like we talked about in the other video. Now this was, you're gonna have to move this and all that, but this is a standard size. It'll accept any basket strainer or any disposer. So that's just dried plumber's putty. Good.
Yep.
Here's a better view of that snap ring I was telling you about. It's not a solid ring, it's cut. You can just get in there, pry it off like that. And that's the order it goes in. The fiber washer is going to go against the bottom of the sink. Then this flange, and the upper mounting ring, and then the snap ring. This is what we see from up here. So we're going to put plumber's putty around here. So you can either turn it into a rope, You can just go around like that. Whatever you feel better with. And this stuff doesn't have to set up or dry. In fact, it's not supposed to dry, even though that was dry. I just make a rope and I go around. But as soon as I tighten this, it'll be ready for use. I don't have to let this cure or anything like that. And then we don't put it like that, we put it like that, so you can read the letters, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm pushing it down, and you see how the putty is squeezing out? So now I'm gonna get underneath, put all this on. All right, there's the washer. And it doesn't matter which way this goes. It's kind of triangle shape, but it doesn't matter. I'll loosen these. So I have room to attach the snap ring. Okay. And obviously these bolts hit here. You know, you don't want to do that. That's no good. They push against this flange. And then you can usually open this up with by hand. Since Jordan's pushing that for me. There. And it locks into a groove. And now I'm ready to tighten these by hand first. Screwdriver. And if you get the camera up top, you can see the putty oozing out of the... See what it's doing?
Yep.
And then just make sure it's centered and that it's... the letters are how we like them.
Looks good.
Okay. Then you just work your way around evenly, like you would do when you're putting a tire on a car or working on an engine. And I'll just usually get a utility knife. Right around the outside edge. That'll come right out. And then put that back. There's nothing wrong with that. Put it back in there for the next time. And this is already ready to go.
Yeah, it's prepped and good.
Yep. This is kind of a pain. You just got to use one hand underneath to lift it. And then I just use my fingers. I can see this tab's on there. That one's on. And the back one's on. And see, this will spin. I got the weight supported, but this will spin. So let's get it hooked up first. And the last thing we'll do is we'll
Tighten it.
tighten it. Let's put this hose on there now while it's spinning though. Well, I can tighten that later, that's easy. The beveled washers, just like we talked about on the previous video, make sure you go back and watch that. It's gonna go on this one. And we're just gonna rotate it until it lines up back here. And there we go. Again, just hand tight, should be all you need. I'm just gonna check this back one. I got a little bit on it. All right, I'm gonna put that in there. Tighten that. Okay, it stopped. I can tell I'm there. I'm all the way to those little detents we talked about. And now I'm gonna tighten the hose clamp for the dishwasher drain. Look what I'm seeing back here, Jordan. This is sketchy.
What's that?
This is the cold water supply for the sink, and then this 1/4-inch line is for the ice maker for the refrigerator behind you. But see, it's a dual outlet. And see this outlet? They have it closed off. So hopefully they soldered this.
Oh, because that's the only thing that's stopping the water right there?
Yep. Now they make a cap. They make a cap that you could put here. And this is called an add-a-T. Say you had a stop that just had one outlet, which most of them are, but you needed to add a 1/4-inch line, you can buy an add-a-T. So it screws onto the 3/8 compression on the valve. Then your 3/8 compression tubing for the faucet goes here, and then a 1/4-inch compression outlet. All right, are we ready?
Yep, we gotta plug it in.
Switch is off. That's it.
All right.
See if it drains. Nice. I've been working here a month, and that's the first time this sink's been draining at all.
Nice.
Yep.
That only took half an hour too.
Yep.
And if you're watching this video and trying to do it the first time, hopefully it should take you under an hour.
Yeah, and look, that's really all the tools we use, right? I mean, we had to do a little electrical, but that's just because I wanted to shorten the cord.
Yeah, you don't have to do the electrical.
You don't have to shorten it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just easily get a zip tie and roll it up.
That's really all the tools you need. So that's everything I know about garbage disposals. Disposals. So curiosity killed the cat, right? Let's see why this thing wasn't draining.
Ugh.
Yeah, now remember, it never worked. There's no way this motor ever worked the way it was wired because of the open neutral. So somebody installed it. When it didn't work, I don't know what they did. They said, call an electrician maybe, and that never happened. But
So it was just in there?
Look, it's brand new from the outside.
Yeah.
In fact, is it the same model as that one?
This is a 3rd horsepower. That's
Okay,
a
it's
half.
half. Look at the inside.
Oh man. So that was just in there and it never worked?
Yep.
So
It just got clogged because it never worked. I guess all the food particles just clogged up
yeah.
all the perforations in that ring. Remember we showed the video of the perforated ring?
Yeah.
It's just all clogged up.
Man.
So if we fill it with water, it probably won't even drain out of here.
Make a nice soup?
A little bit.
Tiny bit. Oh man.
But that's why.
And that'll do it.
Yeah, they thought it was a stopped up drain, but I said, no, it's your disposer. So that's trash. Oops.
Ugh.
Yep. Always got some cleanup, huh?
Good to know.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining the channel. We hope you liked it. We hope you learned something. Made you laugh, maybe. I haven't heard the marching band yet, but they're out there getting ready.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go get some lunch
Yeah.
and test this thing.
Yeah, so be sure to subscribe, share, like, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot.